Hey guys, what's up? This is Unconventional TV, Physical Health Edition, Autoimmune segment. In this video, I'm going to discuss what it's like living with an autoimmune disorder known as Sjogren syndrome. But before I begin, don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest videos. Now, you may have heard of Sjogren syndrome as there are celebrities who have been diagnosed with it, Venus Williams being perhaps the most well-known, and has spoken up about what it's like living with this syndrome and how it's affected them. But the syndrome still isn't very well known about, or even understood enough. In fact, the doctors I've seen don't even know what it is. So today, I'm going to break down what Sjogren syndrome is, how it affects everyone differently, and how it affects me as an individual. Let's dive in, shall we? So what is Sjogren syndrome, and how does it affect the body? Unfortunately, when you look up SS, you'll often get a brief overview that says very little about it. You simply get a vague statement that it's an autoimmune disease that causes dry eyes and dry mouth. But the reality is actually much, much worse, as you can see in this image brought to you by the Sjogren Syndrome Foundation. The severity of Sjogren's also varies highly from individual to individual, as autoimmune diseases do. But the severity also depends on age factors. According to PubMed, people can actually develop something known as late onset Sjogren's, LOSS. This is when in later age, somewhere between 40 and 60, your body randomly starts to develop SS. The reason is still not entirely known. Then, there's childhood Sjogren's, CSS. Not to be confused with computer coding. The name of CSS is a bit misleading as you cannot develop SS as a child. CSS means that you were born with Sjogren's. LOSS typically has fewer complications overall than in people with CSS, as people with CSS run higher risks of organ failure, getting cancers such as lymphoma, and forming additional autoimmune diseases such as lupus or additional syndromes such as fibromyalgia. I have CSS, which again means I was born with Sjogren syndrome. And while my parents and I can look back and realize all the markers that were present before I even learned to crawl, none of us even knew I had Sjogren syndrome until 3 years ago, which means it's had plenty of time to really do some nice internal damage. In fact, in the Sjogren's image, I was going to originally put check marks next to all the problems I have, but realized it would actually be easier for me to list what I don't have to deal with. And that's the arthritis and the liver problems. Although now I need to knock on wood, because as my doctors have warned me, it's still early enough where I still could develop these issues later on. As if this wasn't enough, as a result of my CSS, I have developed additional physical health problems. Yes, it's a lot. And as such, I'll be doing individual videos on the top disorders that really affect me from this, such as SIBO, fibro, neurocardiogenic syncope, try saying that 3 times, 4 times, 5 times fast, neuropathy, PCOS, and hypoglycemia. You know, just to name a few. And this is all in addition to mental health disorders I've developed largely as a result of all these things working together, including, but not limited to, memory loss and memory lapses, chronic fatigue, OCD, insomnia, depression, and anxiety. Also, you know, just to name a few. As a result of all these factors, you often won't see me looking directly at the camera, and that's actually for a very good reason. CSS can affect and even damage the ways in which memories are stored. It can also affect memory recall, especially when there are other problems that arise from my CSS that can also affect memory recall. My memory gets essentially shot to pieces when I'm tired or in pain, to the point of me sometimes not even being able to read, although this also happens during fibro flares too. I think one thing I hate most about CSS, and it's not the joint flare-ups or the neurocardiogenic syncope or the neuropathy, although I can't say I really like any of that stuff. I think it's the fact that I spend over 99% of my life just feeling exhausted. I am chronically tired. And I'm not just talking about like I'm feeling a little sleepy. It's the kind of tired that just everything you do causes physical pain, like lifting up a tissue, writing something by hand. Everything feels like an absolute chore. It's even worse when all my other stuff is flaring up. At that point, I'm just bedridden. Fortunately, I haven't had to do that in a while, knock on wood again, but if you ever see me filming in bed, at least you'll know why, and it's not because I'm lazy. But even on a relatively good day, good being also a very relative term here, stringing together coherent thoughts can be quite difficult for me, especially when I have to stay on task. It therefore makes memorizing scripts very difficult. I have been able to memorize scripts in the past, being a theater kid, but memorizing a 10 or so minute monologue, no. That just seems flat out impossible to me. So I essentially created a prompter on my computer that warns me what's coming next, and sometimes even goes as far as to tell me what to say. Though as you can see, even that doesn't always work out. Hello everyone, welcome to my new you can expect new videos every Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time. Oh god.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Unconventional TV. I have more videos. That's why I'll have more videos coming out about this incredibly intricate topic.
The mental health segment, DID edition. Today I'm going to talk about something. And nope. My mouth is so dry. Because that's the ultimate goal when people... This trauma is most often repetitive and can be... Why can't I say this? Or any mental... To pretend you have DID or any not mental, physical and or emotional condition for the sake of attention seeking. Too tired to function. Okay. To pretend you have DID or any mental, physical and or emotional condition. Why can't I say that? You are mocking a specialized process. So trivial. Nope. Okay. But from what I understand, regarding what I've learned have been... In fact, I can't even count the number of online classes I've had to drop because I just couldn't continue on do. I started my own editing business. That being said, autoimmune disorders can be incredibly tricky. My health issues are a large reason I wanted to start my own YouTube channel in the first place. As much as I love structure and loved being a barista, my body couldn't sustain the work. Hey, even doing online school can be too much for me at times. In fact, I can't even count the number of online classes I've had to drop because I just couldn't continue on due to, well, everything. But I can't stand the idea of not being productive. I started my own editing business, my own fellowship, I write novels, so many novels, and I'm always researching stuff for my novels. In fact, my latest novel I'm working on inspired the very fellowship I created. So it was only a natural thing for me to fill up the rest of my time by doing research projects. I research everything. The most inspiring and exciting things for me to read, however, involve destigmatization. I share what I've learned through social media, blogs, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. I mean, seriously. So many blogs. But I wanted to share it on a wider, grander scale. See where I'm going with this? I guess you could say my physical health, combined with my avid and unquenchable curiosity, is actually why unconventional TV was even born. And that's my video on living with Sjogren syndrome. That being said, autoimmune disorders can be incredibly tricky topics to cover all in one go, especially when they have additional complications attached to them. So you can guarantee to see more videos coming out on physical and mental health, along with every other topic under the sun. So don't forget to click that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the latest unconventional videos. This has been Unconventional TV. Thanks for watching.